Welcome back to the Steve Gruber Show. Good to have you here live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the Republican National Convention. And what a convention has been. The energy is off the hook. Joining me is Brook Rollins. She is the founder and president of AFPI, a former senior advisor to the White House Director of Domestic Policy. Thank you for being here.
Oh, what a joy it is to be here.
You know, I want to touch on this, Brooke. The energy in this room. Look, we're coming right off the heels of an attempted assassination.
Right.
Where Joe Biden and his team cannot seem to get a messaging right. How about this? How about just humility?
Yeah.
How about just some compassion, some human element? But no, they go back to all these lies about Donald Trump. They went right back to it.
Yeah.
No,
it was amazing.
My mother would say no class.
Well, not only no class, but when CNN's headline is that President Trump falls on stage and you saw all of the other reactions, it's just, well, it tells you what we're up against, right?
It does.
It is the American people. It is the America First agenda against the elites. And we know what we've got to do. And I think no one knows that better than President Donald Trump, especially now.
Right. So let's talk about the influence that attack is going to have on this election.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it all over social media. You're probably seeing the same thing. People that said that they would never support Donald Trump are in his camp now.
Yeah.
People said, I saw something in him that I haven't seen in a long time, which is an American toughness, a grit, an America First president.
Amen. Well, it's interesting. I worked for him for 3 years in the White House. I managed and wear multiple hats. As soon as the election was taken from us on November 6th, I started mapping out how do we make sure that this movement never dies, that in fact, if the America First movement does not continue, I'm not sure that the country will ever be saved. And so I have worked alongside President Trump, first as his employee in the White House, second in building this organization, now for almost 7 years.
Right.
And so I see what I have always seen, and you have always seen, and our movement's always seen, a man of courage, a man with the heart of a lion. But what a lot of people don't see that now have seen after Saturday night is those characteristics that we do need to save a country.
They saw a tenacity.
That's right.
I mean, when he came up there, blood on his face, and stood up and said, fight, 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 it woke up young people.
Yeah.
It woke up older folks. It woke up evangelicals. Think about all the evangelicals that did not vote last time around.
Yeah.
Where are you now? That'd be my question to the evangelicals. Are you back on board where you belong?
That's exactly right. And, you know, you think about, I actually put a post up that went viral with multi-millions of views on X, on Twitter, and I talked about what being a combat. People have been in combat before. I never had, and I said up until, President Trump Saturday night, he'd never been shot at either.
Right.
But those are the true moments of the test of a man's character, is how you react in a situation like that.
Right.
And so to your point, I think all those men and women and evangelicals and others who had never really given him a shot because they didn't like the way he tweeted, or he was a little unconventional, now they're like, you know what, maybe the mean tweets don't matter. Maybe what matters is toughness, is leadership, and is courage. So
and the ability to stand up in that moment, to collect yourself.
That's right.
To collect yourself and have clarity of thought to say, I need to tell not only America, this crowd, America, and the world, I'm still here.
Amen. And I'm not going anywhere, and I'm here to fight for this country.
Absolutely.
And I could be playing golf. I could be enjoying my life. I am a billionaire. He went and played golf. But he could be doing so many other things, and instead, at the risk of losing his life in the greatest sort of lane of our founding fathers, right? I mean, those guys were giving it all for a new idea that was America. They were all going to be hung if we lost.
That's
they were
right.
dead. And that's
together
what,
hang separately.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And that's what Donald Trump, where he is today, where he has always been. But now I believe so many people are realizing that in the best way.
Let me touch on, you're in Texas.
I am. I'm a Texas girl.
Fort Worth, the best, I hear.
But the best.
Yeah. Okay,
yes,
so
where the West was won.
So here is the challenge. Alejandro Mayorkas not only runs the border, he also runs Secret Service.
That's right.
Catastrophic failure, no matter where this.
Yeah.
My father had a term for that. Everything you touch turns to,
Yes. I raise cattle also, so exactly. I really know this. Yes,
you understand that term, and that's what my father would say about this guy. How is this guy still in a job? How is the head of the Secret Service not at least suspended? How are the agents that were supposed to secure that scene not suspended at a minimum?
Right.
And instead they're blaming local law enforcement. Well, they were supposed to do this.
Yeah.
You have one job as Secret Service, one.
That's right.
And since March of 1981, they hadn't had an incident.
That's
this
right.
This is not on local law enforcement. This is not an anybody but them. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, you're right. What's interesting is I try to sometimes think about, because I was in the last White House for 3 years, and I knew the decision making that President Trump was constantly every day. Do I have the best people in their best job doing what they need to do for the American people? And if they weren't, you know this, you were gone. He suffered no fools.
Right.
And yeah, you were fired.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time even putting myself in this Biden White House, because what sort of lack of leadership are we in right now?
Well, incompetence runs wild.
Completely
so I
incompetent.
want to touch on that. We talked about that just before we went on here, Brooke, and that is a second Trump term is going to look very different because he has the experience and he understands how deep and wide and difficult the swamp is to navigate.
Yeah.
He's going to have experienced, talented, smart, hardworking people around him this time.
Yeah.
It will be a different deal because he'll have a House in his favor. I believe the Senate will be in his favor.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at the maps. It's almost a certainty.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, he's going to enter this with a focus, with an urgency, if you will, in my estimation. What do you think the priorities should be at AFPI?
I think that the priorities clearly are securing the border. They are peace through strength, no new wars, bringing our soldiers home. They are bringing an economy back, an America First economy back, where everyone has a shot at the American dream, not just, people that look like us or our children, that everyone, especially those from the most disadvantaged communities. I think weaponization will be a top priority. How do the president, we always say this.
De-weaponizing the government.
Exactly. Yeah. Attacking and deconstructing the administrative state so that it can no longer be used as a weapon against the American people.
Right.
And I know, Steve, you've seen this, the memes that show President Trump, they're really after you. I'm just standing in the way.
I agree with that.
I agree with that, too. And we saw it
Look,
Saturday
I've been
night.
broadcasting. They want the fairness doctrine to silence people like me so that you and I couldn't even have this conversation.
That's right.
They pretend to love democracy and the Constitution while attacking it day after day after day.
That's right.
Whether coming in the back door of social media or the fairness doctrine or 100 other things that they want to do to silence any dissent. And they call us the tyrannical ones.
No, it's unbelievable how they have taken government. They've taken the institutions of higher education. They've taken over big business. Thank you, Elon Musk, for putting some sanity back into some of these bigger companies. They've taken over all of our institutions and our public education.
And not for the better.
No, well, as a result, we now have a country that until Donald Trump was on the precipice of a full socialist regime, and we got it, and now we're going to pull it back and we're going to win this country back.
One of the things that the Democrats are howling about, and by the way, I saw the Democrats just lose it when J.D. Vance was named as the running mate.
Oh, yeah.
Makes me think we made a pretty good choice.
I think that's right.
Van Jones, all these guys, they're in the ditch. They're this guy's going to be around forever, and he's a true believer. Good.
Yeah,
we believe in this guy.
Yes, that's right.
Eliminating the Department of Education. Only got about 30 seconds.
Yes.
Pretty good idea.
Well, I think that, yes, it is a good idea. And I think it is reflective of multiples of these federal government agencies in our founders' visions. The states and locals should be running this country,
That's right.
not the federal government. And so what can we do to fix that? And I think he's going to take a really good look at that and make some good things happen.
Bring it back to local control. I mean, ever since Jimmy Carter implemented the Department of Education, scores have not gotten better. Outcomes have not gotten better.
And we spend more than every country in the world.
More money than anybody. $9,000 a student.
That's right.
In K through 12, and wild numbers when you get beyond that.
That's right.
Brook Rollins, greatly appreciate you being here.
Thank you. What a joy to be here.
Thank you so much.
Let's go
Brook
save a
Rollins,
country.
President and CEO of the American First Policy Institute. Really appreciate it. And we are going to save this country. Thank you.
Yes, we